Hey traders, welcome back to another daily profit and loss recap video. Today is Wednesday, July 12th. I just finished up trading for the morning, and after only about 30 minutes of trading, I locked in $1,225 in profits. I had two winning trades. In this video, we're going to break down these trades, talk about my thought process behind them, so that hopefully you can take something from my trading and apply it to your own. Alright, so let's not waste any time. The first trade for me today was with the stock ELOX. ELOX was a big spiker the previous day. It had this big spike up, as we can see on the daily chart, from the low fours all the way up to a high of $9.88. Now, as we can see, most of that momentum happened earlier on in the morning, but it was still able to hold its gains pretty well and consolidate for most of the afternoon, closing the day relatively strong and then spiking back up in after-hours trading. So because of all of that, and because of the fact that this was a very low float stock of 1.5 million shares, I knew that this would be a potential continuation today on Wednesday, so I added it to the trade plans posted in the Market Master group. What I was looking for in these trade plans was that this was going to be able to form some kind of base above the $9 area, because that was a past level of resistance. We also see that using the volume profile, there was a ton of volume traded within that area. So if it's able to pull back and form a little bit of a base, bounce off of that level, that would be a great sign of this past resistance area turning into a level of support, and that would be a bullish setup for another move back up to new highs. So as the market was opening and as ELOX started to spike up a bit, I kind of reiterated these trade plans to the team in the Market Master group. I said, remember, $9 is the key level from the trade plans. Bullish sign if it can start forming a base above. It's starting to break out a bit at the moment, but personally, I'm waiting to see if it holds that level on the next pullback before getting in. So if we take a look here at the 1 minute chart, what we see is that it has this breakout initially back above that $9 level, pulls back, bounces almost perfectly off the $9 level, starts to push back above VWAP. This is when I bought into my position in this stock. I took 1,000 shares. And I knew that if this ended up being a lower high and it started to fade back down, I was going to cut my losses using the previous low here of $8.83. So I had a relatively low risk on this trade, and most importantly, I had a trade plan in place before I even got into the trade, knowing exactly where I would cut losses if it happened to move against me. But thankfully, it was able to push back up to those highs. I locked in some of my profits here into this previous high. I let it run a little bit, started to reverse back against me, and once it started to break back down underneath $10 per share, I locked in the rest of my profits, and I ended up with a total of $541 in profits on that trade. So that was a really solid, quick and easy trade setup this morning, straight out of the Market Master Group's trade plans posted last night, and it's always, of course, nice to have these plays that go perfectly according to the plans. Now, the other trade for me today was with the stock HCTI. HCTI was a big gap up this morning in pre-market. We can see it has this massive run. The previous day's closing price on this stock was just $3.26. And this morning in pre-market, we can see it ramps all the way up to a high of $9.53 before fading back down a bit into the open. Now, if we take a look at the pre-market movers, there were a ton of different opportunities this morning and a ton of stocks that were gapping up in pre-market. We had RXRX, which was gapping up at about 9 a.m., 161%. AULT was gapping up 98.5%. HCTI up about 98%, and so on and so forth. Plenty of different opportunities and plenty of different stocks to choose from. So that kind of leads to the question, how did I know to get into HCTI as opposed to RXRX, as opposed to AULT, and so on and so forth? Well, the simple answer is that if I'm trading a stock that's gapping up, typically what I like to look for is an opening range breakout to get in for that momentum carrying into the market hours. And if we scroll down, the opening range breakout levels are posted every single morning for the stocks that have the best potential for a gap and go. We have RXRX with a $14.99 opening range breakout level. AULT was halted and it had an opening range breakout level of $5.82. HCTI had its first halt with an opening range breakout level of $7.03. And if you look at the charts for these stocks, HCTI was the only one that had a clean opening range breakout this morning, aside from ELOX, which we already covered in the previous trade. And that's why I ended up going with this one for my opening range breakout trade. If we take a look here at the chart, we can see we have our first spike up here pretty much right at the market open. It hits that $7.03 high before it has that volatility halt. That's going to be our opening range breakout level. And we can see once the trading resumes, it kind of pulls back into that level, bounces off it, and starts to run up to new highs. So what I did was I bought into this small little consolidation period here. I took a very small position in the 780s. I only had 500 shares, and I knew that my risk level was going to be below the low of this previous candle. So this candle here, once the trading resumed from that volatility halt, had a low of $7.05. So worst case scenario in my head at least was that this would reject these highs up here, pull back, and start to dump underneath this low, and I would take maybe $1 per share loss on this trade and end up with a $500 loss. To me, because of how volatile this stock is, because of it being a low float, because of the massive spike that it already had in pre-market, that was a risk that was worth taking. So I was glad to have this small consolidation period here to give me an opportunity to buy in without chasing as it's spiking up to new highs. But anyway, with all of that being said, if we zoom out here, we can see the pre-market highs up here in the 750s are the nearest level of resistance at that point in time. So what I did was, once we got this next volatility halt here, I had a limit order set in the 920s to lock in profits as it spiked up into the pre-market highs. Now obviously, because the stock was halted at the time, there was a chance that it might not have spiked up and filled that order. And if that was the case, then obviously I would have had to adjust that and potentially take a loss on the trade. But once trading resumed, it gapped up, spiked straight through that level, and ramped all the way up to a high of $10.89. So I definitely left some profits on the table, but that is to be expected with these stocks that have extreme volatility. It's impossible to nail the exact top and the exact bottom. So I'm happy to have been able to lock in $683 in profits on that trade, which brought my overall profits for the day up to $1,225. So it was a great, very quick morning of trading. Obviously, I could stick around and try to make some more trades. There are probably going to be more opportunities later on in the morning, but that's the great thing about being a day trader. If you hit your daily goal within the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of trading, then realistically you have the entire rest of your day to do whatever it is that you want to do. You don't have to continue sitting behind your computer and trying to make more trades. Alright, so with all of that being said, I want to give a couple of quick shout outs here to some of the traders making some money on these trades in the Market Master group. We had T$, who had a scalp of $350 on the HCTI opening range breakout. Murph, who has been crushing it lately, locked in $435 on the ELOX trade from the trade plans. And a quick shout out to G-Wall, who mentioned that these are the days that can wipe you out if you get your timing, nerve, share size wrong. That is 100% true. If you get greedy on days like today when there are all of these stocks spiking up and having crazy volatility, it's very easy to watch all of your profits disappear and end up with a losing day. So it's great to see other traders in the chat staying disciplined and keeping that in mind. Alright, but anyway, those were my main focuses for the day. I ended up with a total profits again of $1,225. Really solid bounce back from my pretty big red day that I had a few days ago. Thanks to my trading and all of the opportunities that we had both yesterday and today, I was able to recoup all of those losses and even make over $1,000 in profits in addition to that. So I hope in these recent profit and loss recap videos you've been able to learn a thing or two about how I, as a full-time trader, am managing my positions and managing my emotions when it comes to dealing with trading losses. If you did, and if you found some value in this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to hear about these stocks that I'm trading in real time, as well as work with our team of traders, get access to our day trade and swing trade alerts, our detailed trade plans, our live scanner streams, and so on and so forth, all of that can be found in the Market Master group, and there's going to be a link down below in the description for you to get signed up. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.